Okay, how's everybody doing? My name's Mike, and we got Miss Mocha with us today. Mocha is she's a chocolate lab. She's about 6 months old, and she's a pretty excited dog. I just got her yesterday. We've already seen her calm down a little bit between yesterday and today. So we're gonna go ahead and do what I first do with the dog when I when I brought her back to my house. We spent probably 20 minutes out here of me working her in the attention routine. We're gonna go ahead and start that right now because you can see how her attention is kind of on everything else. So she had a really bad pulling problem, and we spent a lot of time out here doing that just to let her know that, hey, look, you know, you're gonna have to follow me when you're here, and we always use a leash to teach them. So I want to teach her, introduce her to what pressure feels like on her, so that way she can understand when you feel pressure to come towards me. So we'll go ahead and start that now. Good girl. See how she turns? Good girl. So she learned this from yesterday. Good girl. Good job. Good girl. And you know, her first time here, her first time yesterday was not like that. She was very excited, but some dogs, when you introduce a little leadership, it goes a long way. So since she's good with that, I'm going to go ahead and just put her in my heel and show you guys how we start teaching them how we want them to stop. So I just start walking in a circle. I'll say heel and give a little pressure like this, a little pressure on. Good girl. Good girl. So I just give a little tug when I want her to follow. Good girl. So anytime she speeds up, yeah, like that. Good girl. So if she speeds up, like that. Heel. Good. Heel. So I tug her in the direction she speeds up, just like that. Heel. Good girl. Good girl. I'm saying good girl to her because she's stopping when I'm doing it. Heel. Good girl. Come on, girl. Heel. When I turn, she'll come with me. Tug. There we go. See how she comes? When I stop. Good girl. Good job. Heel. Even though I'm sliding my hand down right now, I'm not really using pressure to stop her. Good girl. She's doing it on her own. Good girl. Heel. Good girl. Heel. Again, she doesn't turn. Just give a little tug. Good girl. Heel. Good girl. Heel. Good girl. Heel. Hey, let's see how she got in front of me that time. That was my fault. Heel. So just a tug. She's actually looking at a leaf blowing. Good. Heel. Good. Heel. Good. Heel. Good girl. Good job. So that's actually going to be it. Heel. Nope. Heel. So when we're working her in heel, we always keep them on the left side to create consistency. So that's going to be it for today. She did really good yesterday with the tension exercise that you saw today when I got on the leash with her, and it was much different. She didn't have any correction. She turned as soon as she saw me go a different way. She turned to come to me. So this dog had a huge pulling problem, and the owner happened to be a little bit older. So a dog like this, you cannot have a dog that is pulling with anybody who has any physical issues at all. So we want to teach the dog how to heel in a way they trust, understand, and respect. And you know, she's very quick to learn it. They just, you know, the dog just needs a little bit of training. Needs the proper equipment. When I first did the evaluation with the owners, the dog had a harness on. The dog's now using a prong collar, but it's not the tool, it's the person who's using the tool, how they use it, and how they apply it with the dog. The goal, as you see right now, she's relaxed and there's no pressure on the leash. Good girl. Good job. So this is how we start them out. You guys usually see the first day when I get the dog when we're doing the attention exercise. This is what the second day looks like, how I kind of tell them to heel, and then I just stop with them. And you start to get them to understand that I want you to stay behind me when I stop. It's time for you to stop. And then you know, as we move on, we start to work on sit with the dog, and we do the process very slow so I can start to gain the dog's trust. And it makes it much easier for me, good girl, for me to teach them. For an example, just like now, we're just working on heel, right? And she's standing. I didn't ask her to sit at all, right? So I'm just working on the heel with her. Now, instead of me telling the dog, hey, sit right away, I can just wait for her to do it and say, good girl, good sit. Good girl, good sit. So it sets me up and the dog up so I don't have to, look at that, that's even better if she lays down. Good girl, good down. Good down, good girl. So that's even better to get that on the second day. A lot of dogs don't even never lay down like that because they're so excited. Hey, I don't want her messing with the ground. You know, we move slow is to gain the dog's trust, and it makes it easier on the dog and on us. The faster you move with the dogs, the more pressure you have to put on them. As you see in my videos, we don't use treats, and I do use e-collars, but almost you can see all my videos with about 90% of the dogs, there is no e-collar. Generally, the only time we really don't do much off-leash because we live in Southwest Florida. There's not too many places you're going to be off-leash with your dog. And in my opinion, owners need to learn how to use a leash before they know how to use an e-collar, because the timing is exactly the same with the leash as it is with the e-collar. So if they don't know the leash, good girl, good down. If they don't know the leash and they don't understand timing, there's no way they can get the e-collar. But what my point is, we're not using much to get this behavior, and we're making it simple for the dog. We're not going to the extreme of using a treat. We're not going to the extreme of using an e-collar. We're using a leash to lead the dog in the positions that we want, and we're also waiting, taking my time, waiting for the dog down. Good down, girl. Waiting for the dog to do these behaviors and getting them over time rather than rushing with treats and an e-collar. In my opinion, this is much more effective. The dog learns to work for my praise and the owner's praise, which for the second day, she's doing really good. You guys typically almost never see the dogs behaving badly on my channel because I don't go there and film the dog's bad behavior. I go there and immediately I set my relationship up with the dog as a teacher-student relationship. As when I'm around, my presence is around, you will learn from me. You will not act in this manner. Because if you take the camera and film the bad behavior, you're in a way encouraging that dog to do that. And I don't have that much time. I typically have 3 weeks with the dog. And you know, the dog's been doing these behaviors for a long time. They're imprinted behaviors. And it's not much time to get the dog to start behaving properly. So I never go somewhere and encourage a bad behavior. So unfortunately, you guys don't get to see how excited and kind of crazy the dog acts before I train them. But what you do get to see is how they're calm and how they're learning. But they're calm because of the structure. That is the #1 thing we provide, is structure, which is leadership.